Yo, what's happening, everybody? What's going on, people? What's going on? It's your boy, Boom Bam. I got my bro way too cool with me, man. Let's going for the gusto, man. We back at it, man. What's happening, brother?
Feeling good, baby. Feeling good. Had a good day at work. Back here to get on some good old football, man. What we got for today, man?
Yeah, man. So look, we gonna keep this one pretty short and brief, man. There's just two main things we really got to talk about. We gonna talk about your boy Brock Purdy, just because he is in the Super Bowl in his second year. He's on a small list of quarterbacks that make the Super Bowl in their second season starting. So with the Big Bens and the Tom Brady's of the world. So that's super impressive. And then we just gonna talk about his contract details and how we think that's going to play out. And then mainly we got to talk about the Pro Bowl, man, because the Pro Bowl is something. It's I've been seeing it, and I just think we should give our thoughts on the Pro Bowl, the players, what's all going on with that. So we're gonna start with our Brock first, man.
Brock Purdy. So Brock Purdy being able to do what he has done, and these years of him not even just starting from last year, coming into the situation that he was in and leading them to that NFC Championship. Although he got hurt, like he won 7 games straight, and then came into this and took them to the Super Bowl. You paid Brock Purdy. I don't care what you pay. You paid Brock Purdy. He earned it. See,
and you got to remember, so he was the last pick.
The last pick of the draft, and everybody wants to bring it. He's the last pick of the draft. It brings you to the. Honestly, I feel like they could have made it to the Super Bowl last year if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it's looking right now. I mean the Eagles kind of fell apart at the same time, so it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if the Eagles were overrated last year or if they just fell apart. It's just kind of hard to tell because they essentially got the same team. They brought everybody back, and then they just look like a shell of themselves. So, I know a lot of the San Fran fans themselves think that if Brock Purdy played, they would have won that game.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Rick. If me and you go out and we go play basketball last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And me and you go shoot the hoops. Let me ask you, what's the difference between you going to shoot the hoops with me one last year to shoot the hoops this year, right? Things change. You get older. Right. People ain't moving the same way. The route don't hit the way it used to. The arm don't flick like it used to do. Like everything changes. That's not going to say that Jalen Hurts is changing as an athletical person as he is now. But these are things that is hard to get back to where you are at based off of where you've been. Like you can't just everything is not going to be the same. There's a whole lot of different moving motions. Although you have the same components that what got you where you're going.
Right.
So
it's Jalen Hurts too, right? So Jalen Hurts Jalen Hurts makes he makes $41 million a year.
Jalen Hurts makes 40, yes.
He makes $41 million a year. Right? And so Joe Burrow is the highest player in football because he makes 55.
55, yes. Yeah, he got 55.
So now the way contracts normally work is that whoever's next up gets the biggest contract. So then you got to ask yourself, so Joe Burrow's full deal is $275 million. Now you ask yourself, if Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl, right?
Where does he go?
300. Does he get 300 million?
Ooh, I feel like you kind of have to. I mean, like it's the same conversation that happened with Matthew Stafford. I mean, I feel like once you win the Super Bowl, you're kind of at that point where you can't dispute him.
Right.
Like you have to pay him.
See, this is something people ain't talking about too. I think if San Fran wins the Super Bowl, I think Trent Williams is going to retire.
Probably.
And so then it's like, okay, that opens up money on the books, right? And then, you pay Fred, you pay Tre'Davious Ward, Hufanga comes back, you got to pay him. You already paid Nick Bosa. So now you're like, if you pay him, then either Brandon Ayuk, maybe Chris McGatt, or somebody gonna have to leave.
I'm a team right now.
That's putting a lot on Brock Purdy. That's a lot of money, bro.
Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league right now. There's no way Christian McCaffrey takes a pay cut. Like I understand that's not gonna happen. But
Well, the thing about that though, remember he got paid in Carolina, so it's possible that he's not looking for like a max deal. He's probably just looking for maybe a 1 to 2 year deal because I mean he is. We've had this conversation like 4 years in a row now.
I'm ready to have this.
Football has changed from year to year.
I'm ready to have this one.
You know,
football has
the best like you know well, at one point we was talking about Josh Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? They were talking about Derrick Henry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the best running back has just changed every year. Like so who's to say he's going to be the best running back next year? You know what I'm saying? Like you know, like I still would take Nick Chubb, but not Nick Chubb coming off a major injury.
Fair.
Right?
Fair.
So now you got to kind of do that probably year to year, but y'all check out another video I made when I was talking about how I think running back contracts need to be changed from everybody else's contract. But y'all can tune into that video. I can't remember which episode it is, but it's something. But
no, 100% fair. So 100% fair. I get it.
But I think if Purdy wins the Super Bowl, he's going to take a step in his mind, like mentally. Where he's going to be more confident in himself. He's going to play a little bit more freedom, a little bit more loose. And then that's going to allow him to probably, you know, elevate. And then Kyle Shanahan is good at drafting offensive players, right? Like, even if you lose a Brandon Ayuk, I'm pretty sure they're going to find somebody, a receiver in this draft to replace them if that happens.
I would hope so. See, these are speculations that it's a I would hope so scenario. Because we've seen when like we think that like when the Dallas Cowboys thought they were gonna get rid of Amari Cooper and you know CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has played as a top tier number one receiver this year. That's beautiful for him. But like the production that you're looking at getting from that is just like that's astronomical. And like Brandon Ayuk has been astronomical to that offense for them.
Right.
Like that's just not like a person you just randomly replace. Like so like
but you know, bro, you also don't normally
unless you find Zay Flowers out the draft or something, like
yeah, but you don't normally win the Super Bowl and bring everybody back. You know what I'm saying? That don't normally happen either. Somebody isn't gonna come back. I don't know who. I mean, maybe they find a way to do it, but you know, especially once you win the Super Bowl, your mindset changes, right? It's like, all right, I've won the Super Bowl. Now I need to make as much money as I possibly can. So, because just side note, I saw that about Justin Jefferson made a quote about they asked him about him signing back with the Vikings, and he was like, "Look, I'm trying to be the highest paid receiver. If the Vikings want to do that, cool. If not, whatever." I'm like, all right, hey, you know, people trying to get to that bread.
Dalvin Cook should have went to Dallas. Now we both sitting on the couch. So I'm saying like yeah, all of that makes sense to me, man. It's just so what I say when it comes to my final thing for that is just like if you're going to be Brock Purdy after everything that you've done for this team, especially what you've done from last year. See, I'm taking his whole collective as a starter. Mm-hmm. Like his resume is just too good. Like he deserves to be in that conversation. He deserves to get paid. Like that's his resume. You can't refute it. 7 game wins as a starter, 2 playoff wins. Off the bench, man, the man, like, and then it comes over and take you to the Super Bowl. You gotta pay it, man. You got to.
I do think they're gonna try to negotiate with him. I don't know if he'll. I don't know if he'll get the $300 million, but I think he would take $250 million. I think because
he would take a friend deal, but
because I mean, because the problem is I don't think he has the market where he could go to another team and argue to get that money. So I think whatever Sam kind of bring to the table, he got to be like, all right, let's take this one and then we can always renegotiate 2 years down the road if I make it to another Super Bowl or something, right? We can always renegotiate, but let's take this big money first, especially when you drafted in the 7th round, you got a small contract rather than if you was drafted in the 1st round, you got some other millions to kind of lean back on. He don't got that, so he got to take what he could get.
Just look at it. Like Patrick Mahomes getting 52. He's getting 52. He has a stretch across like a 10-year span.
Right.
But at the same point in time, it's like Patrick Mahomes knew that he was worth way more than that. But he said, I can make way more than that. It's keeping that mind state of where you can get to based off of what you got. Like, dude, I got these plays. Like a lot of people go wrong in the NFL with being selfish about and I get it. You work for your money. You do. But you gotta look towards what you're working for and where you're working at.
Right.
Because you can make way more money by taking that slight cut. That's just my opinion. I'm like,
depending on
depending.
What team is really good, what team you're on. Like I think that's a good point because he's on San Fran, which is an iconic franchise.
San Fran. Like, dude.
Yeah.
You see what happened to Patrick? Patrick Mahomes is right now when he took that cut. He took that friendly deal, and he's back at the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, he took that cut before he went to the last Super Bowl and won.
Right. And then
now he's back.
And then he spread it out over 10 years, which is also smart because you don't see 10-year contracts in football. And then the money he's missing, he's probably making up for that in commercials, playoff money, all that stuff. Yeah.
So if Brock Purdy wins this Super Bowl, just imagine the amount of advertisements.
Yeah. He might have his own pair of shoes or something in the middle.
He might be advertising every time I walk in my house. Like, dude.
Nah, that's true. So,
and then that's gonna put San Fran back at 6 Super Bowl rings too. Like San Fran gonna be up there. Like, dude, it's gonna be so big.
They'll be tied with Pittsburgh and New England, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
They're gonna be right there. So that's how I feel about that.
Okay, bet. So